Hey guys, what is going on? It is Ando, and welcome back to our fixing of our roster, managing of our roster, whatever you want to call it. But it's basically the little series that I started where I've identified some problems, right? I was stuck in old ways of thinking about this game, but the economy had changed and we hadn't really, you know, altered to that. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna kind of talk through what worked, what didn't work, how I've been feeling about it. So that way, if you guys are trying to push yourselves to do this as well, you guys can at least hear my, feelings, my regrets, or whatever you want to, and make a decision off of that, or maybe it reaffirms you, or whatever the case is. But let's go ahead and get into it. So, like I said, we'd like to start this off, kind of try to be as much standard as we can, right? 501st Legion Commandos, we'll talk about, the guild and how it performed. But again, I've been still getting, ranked number 1 in Fleet Arena, which is my 400 crystals a day. So just understand, if you're not getting first place, you might have to, curb some of your, expectations on what's going to happen. I did end the season last season in 3v3 in Kyber 1. I think it'll probably be like shrinked or whatever that, I always forget what that word is called, but whatever that word is, I'll probably be pushed back down into K2. But usually in 5v5, I'm pretty good with like my consistency and just winning the ones that I should win, and then usually losing the ones that I should also lose. So I usually push a little bit higher into K1. All right, let's go through the guilds again, just pointing this out there so that way you guys know performance wise where we were at. We did achieve, we're close to 400 million on the the raid box, so we're getting better rewards, or more rewards I should say. We did push all the way also to a new high as well. Previously we were at 38 in TB, we're now at 40. I know we have plans to go on all up to 42. And again, we're, we've had 2 losses in the last 8, and we, the last week since we've done this, we're 2-0 since that. So, wins, almost in all different game modes here. So let's talk about, what we did last time. Oh yeah, I guess, again, we want to been talking about, our era stuff, so that way we can, bring that into the conversation. I am typically falling somewhere in between like rank 50 to like 80. Just depends, I think, on the boss. I think some people may just, throw in auto and it does really well. Other times, I think, I think there's 2 teams, right? You have sort of a Mon Mothma Rebel Fighter, Rebel New Republic team. And then you've kind of got these bounty hunter with like 1 or 2 members of the New Republic there. So, I think there's 2 teams, and I think that range why I can sometimes go from 40th to like 80th is because some people might still be running the Mon Mothma on a team or a boss that might better benefit from like a bounty hunter lead team. So yeah, just just little ranges, but again, I would say that I'm probably averaging somewhere around like 500-ish credits per day. So again, just want to give you guys like where that like economy is coming from. If you guys are wondering, well, how is he getting all these relic materials or whatever the case is, I have been mostly just buying relic 10 with that era currency. And so, yeah, like you won't really see it. Like, it's not like I'm buying light speed tokens or anything like that and really pushing my roster up on the bottom end, because there's really not much else to push up. So as far as farming goes, when I last left off on this, I was talking about how I was doing a triple refresh on Vel's, which is a Cantina farm. I was also doing a triple refresh on Clea as well. And Cinta hadn't come out yet. So I have changed that farming, right? And the big reason why is Vel is actually a 20 shard count, 20 shard node, 20 energy node. And when I started doing the math on that, you're going to spend thousands of crystals in order for that. And there were times where I was doing like 20, almost 30 sims and getting like 1 or 2 shards. Now, I understand that the drop rate then was, being hindered. But when you have that many attempts, and that it's that expensive and you're really sacrificing your blues, that's where I was like, all right, I got to cut this off right now. The reason why I'm cutting this off is right now there's nothing pressing, right? There's no pressing need for me to really go after Vel. Yes, obviously Cassian is a thing. But it's not like his event is coming back within, like a month. Even if it was like a month from now, I'd be like, okay, we should probably start refreshing shards. What I'm going to try and plan on doing is just allowing the shards to fall as need, right? As the more of those era battles or whatever they're called come back for us, there's a shot that I get like 20 to 30 to 40 shards of this, and now all of a sudden, like, I've reduced that crystal amount by like a tremendous amount. And again, with Cantina, that's a lot easier for us to panic farm it, right? Like to quote unquote panic farm it, right? I can't maybe leave it for a week. But if we start getting, again, within that couple week range for Cassian, and Vel is still the one thing that's holding me back, that's pretty easy, right? I'd say for Clea and Cinta, like that's probably a little bit less. Like you want a little bit more time, right? Maybe a month or so. But even just where they're at right now, like if you look at Clea, I only need 30 shards for her, 31 technically, but that's in a good spot, right? You could realistically, again, a few weeks that you would get 30 shards. So there's no need for me to rush and crystal refresh these shards and spend also the energy that I was getting for my relic stuff. Now, of course, if you're at 5 stars right now, or if you're at 6 stars even, you're probably going to want to try and use your crystals for that. Again, I'm just pointing this out because I want you guys to understand now my crystals are going back into relics. And I'm doing my 5 attempts on Clea and Cinta right now, just getting 1 or 2 shards a day kind of thing. But again, I want to see how that assault battle is pointing, whatever it's going to point me into, right? As the RNG lands, who am I going to get shards on, right? I might get all Clea shards, and then I would have to be like, okay, well, now we actually have to farm up Cinta and we have to farm up Vel. But even if we get 10 or 15 shards on Vel, that is like hundreds of crystals in refreshes, at least, that, yeah, you technically wouldn't have happened, right? Apparently we got our little antivirus thing going on too. So anyways, that's what I want to point out, right? So the thing that some of my farming has changed, which means my crystal income has also increased a little bit. So again, relic delta or relic materials have kind of gone back to, my Cantina farms. But now it's time to talk about, well, what did we end up doing with our squads? So I think when we last left off, I actually kind of cheated because I was like, you know what, I'm going to upgrade all these characters. And then I upgraded them. And then I was like, oh, I should record this because this is actually a really good thing for not only me, but I think for other people that might still be stuck in the old ways of the economy. So I relic 9 this entire team, Leia. I think that was on there the last time. And I think we had just finished also Ahsoka Tano. So now they're all R9s. I unfortunately didn't get the chance to really play with them. At least with Ahsoka Tano. Last season it was 3, so it's like, you don't really get to play with some of your GLs as much as you would like to. And then like we had like some pretty easy TWs, and like I didn't even they didn't get to the zone where like my Ahsoka Tano was at. So I didn't get to see, hey, like did my my added relic levels do something for me? But that being said, we did push up, like I said earlier, into 40 stars. And when we got to 40 stars, that means we needed relic 9s for our territory battles planets. And lo and behold, these two in the middle zone, and I can't even remember which one it is. It's the one after Kessel now. But they were great for me, right? These two teams, Leia and Ahsoka Tano, were fantastic for me in the combat missions for that planet. Now, is that why I did this? No, not really. Like, obviously, I want to help out the guild where I can, but again, I'm not sitting here like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait to do more combat missions in Relic 9 zones. But yeah, again, in this transition period where we need combat missions in order to get more stars, sure, right? I don't mind doing that, right? Because again, it's not long term, right? We're gonna eventually get enough GP and be able to continue to, add into the operations and stuff like that. But for right now, that was my payback, right? I also added full Relic 9 on Hondo. Now, my next move was to add Relic 9 on SLKR, but I will say I've been very staunchly against adding relics for just Datacrons, but I might switch these two around, and I guess I should move my face here. But I might move Ray and SLKR because right now Ray has a pretty good Datacron, and she's actually one of the ones that I was saying I think I want to push to R10. So the whole reason why I'm pushing squads to R9 altogether is because I feel guilty right now by adding Relic 10 to a character when I still had squads that potentially had Relic 7s in the Galactic Legend squad. Like I was like, yeah, you know what? Before I start to go in on some of these niche projects, or maybe even just like good projects to add relics, I want to kind of level base, where we're at as a roster. At 15.5 million GP, I felt, why do I still have GLs that have Relic 7s in them, right? So again, this was sort of why we started this like whole little series. But Ray has a really good one, and it's the Sorticron. And yeah, I mean, listen, the more relics you have on her squad, the better Sortie's gonna hit, and Sortie's hitting like a truck. Again, I don't want to make that be a very common thing, because Datacrons are here one day and they're gone the next. I don't want to make permanent decisions based off of that, but this was going to happen anyways, so I might just be changing my priority. Haven't made the call yet on that, but that's kind of where we're at. So, yeah, long story short, though, I haven't really seen a lot of, a lot of my investment come back to me. I'm hoping that we see it a little bit in this TW cycle, and I'm hoping we also see it in 5v5 GAC. I will say, when I was sitting there with all those relic materials, and you can see right now, like I am, the thing that's been holding me back are these impulse detectors. And I've been using my raid currency now just for those pieces. I will say, when I had like abundance of that stuff, it was nothing for me to add it to Huyang or something like that, right? Like I was just like, yeah, whatever, just do it. Like it looks really cool, like it's like a completionist type thing. As that has dwindled, I'm like, do I really need a Relic 9 Hux? Like, can I get, like I can get down with Sith Trooper, I could get down with Crew, I could get down with Ray Darkside, Vision. Those are, those seem, but it's like, this is where I kind of want to cheat myself a little bit. I'm like, does Hux really need Relic 9? Does OG Cal Kestis, does he really need Relic 9? And so this is where, again, like some of that, I need a horde again is coming back in. And there are some valid points to that. Again, like we said last time, a raid is coming. We know a raid is coming. I don't want to be on, absolutely empty whenever a new raid is announced and it's like, oh my gosh, here we go again. But I also don't want to just be waiting around for months for a raid whenever I'm just kind of just hoarding everything. So that is a little bit, I just want to show you guys like that personal internal struggle is still happening, but I'm trying to remain, pretty positive about it, because I don't want to get back into that same mold that I was in before, where it's like, I have enough to relic 9, like 20 characters right now, and I'm just choosing not to, right? Maybe 3 to 4, right? To get a first or second raid team going. Yeah, absolutely, right? That's a smart thing to do. But to have 20, 30 Relic 9s in the wings waiting, probably not needed. So anyways, again, just wanted to show you guys like how I'm personally feeling. If you're feeling this way, if you're kind of going through that, know that it's probably pretty normal. At least I think it is. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.